Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. देवो भूत्वा देवम यजेत, ऐसा कहते हैं. If you want to worship the Lord, first you must invoke that Lord in you. Like, if we want to do some good work, we should be fresh, clean, neat, take bath. In the same manner, we have physically made all arrangements. Taken bath, new clothes, not used clothes, the same clothes with which we go to the toilet, come directly to the Bhagavan and do the puja clothes. Everything is clean. Now the second step is at the level of the mind, the psychological purification. So the psychological purification is attained by invocation of the divine in each and every part of our body. So, for that purpose, this Para Puja is indicated. Meaning, if there is some object with name and form in front of us, we can do the puja. But if we want to worship the Lord who is nameless, formless, attributeless, Nirgun Nirakar, how do we do that? Be attentive. We do that puja by invocation of that reality as our essential nature. So to recognize our divine self is the puja that is being offered to the Supreme Reality subjectively. When we do the puja with the Vigraha, then we are objectively offering. And one of the biggest problem and hurdle for every seeker in the world is the objectivity in knowledge. We are unable to drum the objectivity. And therefore the questions come. Have you seen God? That means God is an object which can be seen by the sense organs called as the eyes. Have you heard His voice inside? That means God is the one who has the mouth and keeps on talking. See. Therefore, to remove this objectivity by becoming subjective in the invocation of the Lord is the technique of Para Puja indicated by Bhagavan Shankaracharya. Therefore, the teacher begins. Akhande Satchidanande Nirvikalpaika Rupini Sthiti Dvitiya Bhavesmin Katham Puja Vidhiyate. How can we do the puja when the subject is your own being? Therefore, the teacher begins now. First, Avahanam. So we invoke the Lord, not outside, but we invoke the Lord in our own heart. Meaning recognition of the divinity as our essential nature. Then asanam is offered. Asanam is the support. So what is that support? The support is the one which is supporting all the experiences, good and bad, therefore beyond all the experiences. Then the Padyam Argyam, because it is immaculate, pure, only recognition of the purity as our essential nature in the spiritual practice. Then Vastram Vishwodarasya, then offering the Vastram, the cloth to the Lord. The Vastra cloth is made for covering something. The one who is covering everything, that means the one in whom everything is contained, to that what we can offer. Agotrasya tu avarnasya kutaha tasya upavitakam. The one who doesn't have the beginning and the end, and there are no different classes like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. When there are no classes, there is no possibility and requirement of any samskar. See? Samskara are necessary if there are vikara possible. If there are no vikara, no samskara are required. Therefore, up to here we have seen in our yesterday's talk. Now, further the teacher says, Nirlepasya kuto gandaha pushpam nirvasanasya cha nirvisheshasya ka bhusha olankaro nirakritehe. Nirlepasya kuto gandaha. Gandha, the chandan, is applied on the forehead of the vigraha. So here the teacher says, Nirlepa, which cannot be touched or contaminated by anything. How can you apply chandan? Because to apply the chandan, you require something to be added. So how we will do this chandan application to this absolute reality? You stop putting chandan on your head. Many people ask me this question. Mehdi, why you don't put on chandan and kinds of people they put on? I said, look here. Did I ask you why do you put? No. But for the same reason, I don't put. Therefore, external paraphernalia is necessary, but is not the ultimate one. Ultimate is being subjective. So, Nirlepasya kuto gandaha. So, how can you apply gandha chandanam to this Lord? Then what we do? There is another text by Shankaracharya, Manasa Puja. In that Manas Puja, you are sitting quiet and then you are invoking the Lord in your heart. And there all the puja, upachar is being done in the heart. See, there are three stages. You are taking the ultimate. First, external puja, mind becomes focused. Then Manas Puja, we remove the gross world and create the subtle world in our own heart. The temple is there, the Lord is there, Bhagavan Krishna is there, Radhaji is there, and beautiful flowers and everything. And to that Lord we are offering the puja. Second, so first was KG1, second was the schooling, and finally we are come to the last one, Para Puja, where everything is dropped. Chandanam samarpayami. Each and every part of this puja will lead us to the subjective self. See, spiritual practice means when the meaning of every word is deducted to self, then it is spiritual practice. It is something like this. This example I gave you earlier. Somebody's name is Purushottam, for example. You ask his wife, do you know Purushottam? Do you know I am suffering because of him for a whole life? So for her, Purushottam is husband. Then you ask his children, Purushottam, do you know Purushottam Hitler? I can't forget him. So one meaning of Purushottam is wife, husband. Second is the father. The third, you ask to the Swaminarayan followers, Purushottam, Akshar Purushottam. Then you ask a grammarian, Sanskrit grammarian, you will break that word into pieces and make the samas out of it. You ask a student of Bhagavad Gita, Purushottam, Yasman Ksharamati toham aksharadapitottamaha atotpi loge vedecha pradita Purushottamaha. And you ask the person whose name is Purushottam, do you know Purushottam? Main hu na? See? So when the meaning of the word is deducted to terminate into being, then we are contemplating. If this understanding takes us away from ourselves, then we are only lost in the words. Therefore, nirlepasya kuto gandaha gandham samarpayami. To whom it is offered? To the one, when you offer, you disappear. It is something like the piece of ice wanted to do salutation to the ocean, and therefore he jumped into the ocean. Will he ever come back? Therefore, nirlepasya kuto gandaha and pushpam nirvasanasya cha. And then we add or offer the flowers. Flowers, why we offer to the Lord? It is for purification of the quality of our thoughts. See? With the technical way of offering flowers to the Lord is take the flower and bring it to your heart, and then it is offered in this manner. It is not thrown. It is not thrown. You take the flower, touch to your heart, so all your thought process, intentions are purified, and then take it near the feet of the Lord and just release. So it falls. No. So the pushpa, the flowers are offered for purification of our quality of thoughts. See, when you think of something divine, the whole atmosphere changes. The other day somebody asked me, Swamiji, don't mind, but I want to ask you a question. I said, you may ask. What reply you will get, it is your problem. You are a Vedanti. I said, so what do I do? How come you go to the ISKCON temple? I said, when I see you useless, I say Hari Om. When I see the Lord, if I say Jai Sri Krishna, what is wrong? See, when you go to the temple, immediately your whole personality changes. At least 5 minutes doesn't matter. See, friends. Because the moment you go, the different fragrance is there. See? Imagine you go to a drinking party. There all the liquid spirituality is going on. See? And what kind of smell comes there? Or you go to the fish market. When you come out of fish market, you feel good? Very nice. No. Even if you are a Bengali, you will not like. Therefore, pushpam nirvasanasya. So what we can offer to the Lord? So what is the meaning? Offering flowers to the Lord is purify your mind and the quality of thoughts by remembering something higher. We have 3 problems with reference to our mind. One problem is the frequency of thought eruptions per second. There is no end. Goes on, top. First problem. Now the second problem is the quality of the thoughts. One is the quantity, the frequency of thoughts per second. Second is the quality of thoughts. What kind of quality of thoughts we have? Usi to tongue told me, he has troubled me. So we will go to the temple and ask the Lord, kindly break his leg. Okay? There is one very beautiful story in Sanskrit grammar stories. There was one person, he had a neighbor and he was terribly hating his neighbor. So he did the tapasya of Lord Shiva. And Shivaji is freely available. Anji, what do you want? Sir, he said, remember, you have got a neighbor, I know you hate him. Remove that hatred from your mind. And therefore, whatever you ask me, I will give him double. Okay. Oh Lord, take away my one eye. make me blind by one eye. So you give him double. His both eyes will be blind. That kind of quality of thoughts has to be corrected. Therefore, first is the quantity, second is quality, and third is the direction. In which direction our thinking process is going on. See? When these three things are corrected, then the thoughts dissolve in the mind like the wrinkles dissolve in the cloth. See, friends. So, all unwanted wrinkles are dissolved in the cloth, and then only one wrinkle is kept, which adds beauty to the cloth. And what is that one wrinkle? Maya sevaka sachara rupa swami bhagavanta. Thereafter, the devotee is no more living in this world with the arrogance of knowledge, but with the joy of love. And then only we have really offered flowers to the Lord. That is what is meant by offering flowers. Otherwise, what happens? In Delhi, I was staying in a Bengali colony, Chittaranjan Park. Every morning, 6 o'clock, I had to go for my talk. So my friend used to come, I sit in the car and go. And one man, old Bengali man with the dhoti down there, he will come with a stick. And anybody's house, he will put the stick, pull the plant himself, take the flower. One day I said, why do you steal from somebody else's garden? You cultivate your own. What for these flowers are meant? I am doing favor to you by cutting the flower and offering to the Lord. Therefore, purity of intentions is necessary in life. Nirveshasya ka bhusha. See? So, after that, we will be giving nice clothes to the Lord. Cloth adds specificity to our personality. Like these days I am seeing everywhere, they are putting some funny kind of clothes, very tight, they are what they call it, pant I will call it, tight, sticky, and a small kind of skirt type of the upper thing. So when you see from a distance, oh, looks like a 6-year-old girl, and then, beta, what do you want? The dress declares the specificity. I am not old, I am still young. Only thing when I get up and sit, that time there is a pain in the back. Otherwise I am young. So the clothes are added to bring a specific status. Okay? When we go for some marriage, we don't go with the same nightie. There are people, but normally people don't go. Therefore, nirveshasya ka bhusha, so there is no clothing offered to the Lord. Alankara kaha nirakrutehe. And what alankara, what the ornaments we can offer to the Lord, because there is no shape. You can add necklace if there is a neck. You can add a wedding ring if there is wedding. If there is no wedding, how can you add the wedding ring? And thus, we remain in the non-dual absolute self. See, friends. So, first we train ourselves outside, like learning the car driving in an open space, football ground. Thereafter, we start driving the car inside our society. And then we come in the market. In the same manner, first control our thought process from the world, bring it to the God. Yajjat karma karo vidatta dakhilam shambho tamaradana. Unless I finish the puja, I don't take a cup of tea. But I saw you taking coffee. Coffee I take. So, this will discipline us. The external puja, etc., disciplines us. And then when we become mature and grown up, then we don't require external supports. And then we are constantly thinking of His presence in our heart. And that presence will be felt always with the Lord who has name and form. Krishna, Rama, Govinda. We are graduating. Now, everything is left. Now we are one with the Divine. See friends, when we are one with the Divine, all activities and all thoughts are completely dissolved. Activities with reference to the body, thoughts with reference to the subtle body, without going to sleep. When this is practiced systematically, then the meaning of this para puja will be obviously simple. Therefore, nirvishesasya ka bhusha kolankaro nirakrutehe. After this is done, now we are offering dhupa deepa. Niranjanasya kim deepa dhupaihi deepairva sarvasakshinaha nijanandaikadruttasya naivedyam kim bhavediha. Niranjanasya kim dhupaihi. Niranjana, the one who is uncontaminated, who is not smeared by anything. For him, dhupa, what is the necessity of showing the incense sticks because they are full of fragrance and all that? No need. Deepaihi va sarvasakshinaha. And lamp is shown to the Lord. Be attentive. There are various techniques of showing the lamps. First, if you see these big temples like Badrinath, Kedarnath, etc. So there they will be showing, first of all, they will take the Pancharati. Sometimes they take 11 of them. Sometimes they take 12 flames. So the 12 flames are 5 Narendriyas, 5 Gavendriyas, Manabuddhi, 12. With the 12 flames, we try to illuminate the Lord. And we can't see them. Because na tatra chakshur gacchati, na vak gacchati, na manaha, na vidmaha. We try our best. And finally, we offer. Okay. Then we take only the 5 flames. Pancharati. Again. There also we try, but we can't see. Your Pancha Pranas cannot comprehend. Your Narendriyas, Karmendriyas, Manabuddhi cannot comprehend. Then we take the third flame, 3 flames in one arati. So we take it and then again try subtle body, gross body, causal body. There also we say, we put it down. And ultimately we take one. I am doing the arati, O Lord, at least reveal. There also the Lord doesn't reveal. Now, okay, what should I do? The last one. Then you take Karpura Arati. Natatra Suryo Bhatina Chandra Tarakam. Nema Vidyuto Bhantikuto Yamagni. Tameva Bhantamanubhati Sarvam. Tasya Vasa Sarvamidam Vibhati. And what is the speciality of the Karpura Arati? The fuel, the flame, everything disappears. In a single wick, the wick remains. Little bit of leftover wick or the oil remains. But in Karpura Arati, everything disappears. Meaning, when the eye disappears, that is a real puja showing the lamb to the Lord. And then this mantra is said. Na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. See, earlier I had mentioned to you in some other context, in our scriptures, the thoughts are at 3 levels. One is Adi Bhautik level, second is Adi Daivik level, third is Adhyatmik level. Adi Bhautik level thoughts are pertaining to how should we live in this world? We should not hurt others. We should love everybody. We should do our duties. This is Adi Bhautik, the mainstay of religious practices. Then the second comes Adi Daivik. Adi Daivik means what? Kunti Mata was blessed with the mantras by the great Rishi. And she being young girl, she just wanted to test. Really this mantra will help getting a baby? And she said, oh, let me try Surya, the sun. And she invokes that mantra, remembering Lord's Son, and only by that mantra Shakti, without breaking her virginity, Karna is born. So that son, because of whom Karna was born, is Adi Daivik son. The sun which is hanging in the sky, that is Adi Bhautik son. So Adi Bhautik world is predominantly in the waking world. And then the phenomenal world that we see around us, that is Adi Daivik. See? So Adi Daivik is that you don't have something, then you go to the Lord, oh Lord, please do something, I have not studied and I don't know anything, but somehow you make me pass. I will write your name in the paper. And one lady showed me, this happened in Jharkhand. I was in their house, she was a school teacher, and 10 standard papers were with her. She says, Swamiji, I can show you, nobody will bother. See, this boy, what he has written, the whole answer book was full with Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Sri Ram, Jai Jai Ram. And at the end, hey Bhagwan, mujhe pass karna hai. He says, Swamiji, what should I do? I said, if this is the answer, pass. This is not the answer, fail. But he is praying to the Lord. He is not praying to the Lord, he is praying on the Lord. So Adi Daivik is invocation of the phenomenal energy to help us. That is Adi Daivik. And this Adi Daivik thing you see among those who are following the Pauranic method of spiritual life. See? Those who are, Shiva Puran, Vishnu Puran, Brahma Puran, Brahma Vaivarta Puran, Skanda Puran, Bhagavad Mahapuran, then you will see most of the stories are of this type. If you see how 5 Pandavas are born, see, they are not like us. They are totally different. Adi Daivik Shakti. How was Draupadi born? See? She was born out of a Yajna Kunda. She was not born like a biological phenomena. So all these fall in the purview of the Adi Daivik. So those who are lost in the Adi Bhautik, worldly things, and they do not have the power to fulfill their desires, therefore they invoke the Adi Daivik Shakti. This is how the Tarpanam is done. See? So the forefathers are invoked by Pitru Tarpan. Then what happens? Unless the Tarpan water and the things are offered to them, they suffer. They cannot take any food. They are called a Ushmapa. Ushmapa means when the hot food is offered, through the heat they consume, not the gross world. So regularly the food is being offered, and when they are satisfied, then they place, beta, you will get one more child and suffer silence. In this manner, the invocation of the higher powers is falling in the purview of the Adi Daivik Shakti. Thereafter, the third thing comes, and that is what we are interested, is Adhyatmik. So, be attentive. Body is Adi Bhautik. Jiva is Adi Daivik. Paramatma who is expressing as Jiva through the Panchakoshas, that Paramatma is Adhyatmik. Here we are studying this Adhyatmik spiritual practice. For the first time when I was having my talks in Assam, many years before, so young boys and girls, they came together and in some temple they organized in Guwahati. And they said, Swamiji, please speak on third chapter of Gita, Karma Yoga. They're all right. And you are not supposed to sit above the level of the God. So if the God is there, you have to sit on the floor. And the audience was sitting in the chair. So they are, all of them were looking down upon me. I said, all right. And then, when the lecture started, all the youngsters went. And 70 not out, 80 not out, and taking, the mala in the hand, and the cotton, and making, the wings like this. And I had to talk on Karma Yoga. Karma food. And after my talk was over, again those youngsters came from nowhere. I said, hey, where did you disappear? So we are waiting outside for the lecture to be over. Why don't you come inside? No, in our tradition, it is said Bhagavad Gita is heard only at the time of death. Hare Rama. I said, Bhagavad Gita was not addressed to Pitamaha Vishnu. It was addressed to Arjuna on the battlefield. No, in our place they say we should not listen to Bhagavad Gita except when you are old and ready to die. Because something may happen if you listen to Bhagavad Gita. Some of the people have got this notion. If you keep Mahabharata in your house, there will be fighting going on. So, if you keep Ramayana in your house will be burned like Lanka. All dumb things, there is no meaning in it. But such superstitious thinking people, they are all the time having this thing. I was going and suddenly that my driver stopped the car. Hey, why did you stop? Swamiji, that Billy has gone. I said, no, the question is, who is at risk? Whether we are at risk or the Billy is at risk. Because she is also crossing us. Such people are all the time living in that imaginary world. I think somebody has done jadoo on me. And therefore, I am not interested in anything. Depression is the cause of, because of that. And then you start running from pillar to the post. This is all Adi Devi. And the one who is walking the Adhyatmik, he drops everything. And when you drop everything, the divinity that you are starts expressing. So here, Para Puja is the third degree. Adi Bhautik, gross puja. Adi Daivik, mental imagination, projection, Manas puja. And the Para Puja is Adhyatmik. See friends, one more example I'll tell you how it can become subjective, every experience. On one of the Lions Club platform, there was, big platform like this, stage, and I was sitting in the center and people were gathering and all that. And one lady was for no reason walking through. Like, they walk, catwalk. So with the big sari and all that, And I was, because I had nothing to do, I was contemplating what is happening. And I came to know she was doing nothing. Maybe she was showing to the people I am very busy. So I said, Amma, the moment I said Amma, she belonged to God. What Amma? Hi, darling, Amma. Yes. I said, hey, what's your name? You are so smart. What's your name? My name is Bhavana. Bhavana? did they keep your name like this? Who kept? Your neighbor? No, my parents. Do you know what is the meaning of bhavana? No, bhavana I don't know. I say bhavana means, bhav means where? Aam kya bhav hai? Na means nahi. You are good for nothing. This is what is the meaning of bhavana. And then you could see her face. Oh wow. No, Swamiji, it cannot be like that. I say, I'm just telling you the meaning of the word. Why don't you say bhavana means I? See? Don't break the words and get lost. Every word must bring us back to ourselves. In Shiva Sutra, the meaning of the mantra is this. Chittam mantra. See? When you chant, Om. So where from the Om begins, where it's maintained, and where does it go back, that is the meaning of the mantra. Any mantra you take. Sri Ram. Sri Ram. Where from it begins? You will come to know it begins from the spiritual heart. The other day one person asked me this question, Swamiji, Bhagavan Ramanambar used to say that spiritual heart is on the right side and you are taking it in the center. That depends how you understand. Right side of what? Can right side be a complete statement? So right side of your bloody heart. So bloody heart is here. Right side of the heart is the sternum. Don't go here. In one village, Riva, I was talking to the children and then told them, now keep your hand on your heart and say what I say. So one child put his hand like this. I said, why are you putting it? He said, you told to put on the heart. I said, your heart is here. He said, yes. How come? He said, no, it is here only. Then I said, come here. And then his heart was like that. So, we begin the mantra from where you can very clearly experience. Chittam mantra. The consciousness itself becomes the mantra and again it comes back. Like the gold itself becomes Lord Krishna and when melted again goes back to the gold. In this manner, when we become subjective, then we have come to Adhyatmic Kshetra. Now we are no more Adi Bhautik. We are no more Adi Daivik. Now we have come to the subjective Adhyatmic. And for us to arrive here, the Lord plays tricks. What are those tricks? Tricks are to come out of a terrible dream, rather the other way around, to come out of a very beautiful dream. We require a terrible accident in the dream. When the dream is wonderful, it will never break. And when in that dream, a dream accident happens, then that dream breaks. So although the dream is an illusion, the accident is also an illusion, but to come out of the illusion, you require another illusion. Okay? Like if there is a thorn in your foot, you take another thorn, remove it and throw both of them away. In the same manner, this waking dream, one event happens which is unexpected, and overnight everything changes. I was reading the life story of a great Mahatma. He was known as Tapaswiji. His ashram was near Bangalore, and recently he left his body. He lived for 283 years. He had Kaya Kalpa Siddhi. Madan Mohan Malviya Kaya Kalpa he had done. He had all the siddhis. And he was the last prince of Patiala when Bahadur Shah Jafar was the last Mughal king. And the Mughals have attacked Patiala and lot of bloodshed and killing. After that, he was being a prince, his father was also killed. So he came to Delhi on a horseback, sought interview with the monarch, the king, and he was given interview. And he said, "Sir, please stop all this massacre. I have come to surrender and seeking peace." So that time the Bahadur Shah Jafar said, "If you want peace, I tell you, I am a king, but I have not gained peace in my life. This is the highest that anybody can have in India. I am the king, ruling the world, but I have not had peace. If you are seeking peace, seek him, not this world." And that was enough for him. He didn't go back to Patiala. He went to Haridwar. And so many events on the way. And then he left everything, had only Kaupin, and went into the Himalaya those days, 1755. So, born in 1755, and recently, a year or so back, he left his body. Then one event, if you want peace, seek him. How many times events have happened in our life, but are we seeking him? Because we are still enjoying the dream. See, friends. And therefore, here, this Adhyatmic sadhana, when it begins, then this Parapuja becomes effective. And when this Parapuja becomes effective, the Adi Daivik and Adi Bhautik automatically drops. See? There was one child in Pune, I don't know where is he now. He was like a Shakuntala Devi type of child. His father was ill, and I went to see him. So after the earlier formalities, then that father's son, he was sitting there. So his mother told, "Swamiji, you can ask my son any calculation, he can tell you in no time." I asked him, 15 fives are. So when I asked, so his mother said, "Swamiji, you are insulting my child. I am asking you, ask anything. Don't look at his age, he is hardly 8. Ask anything." He said, "Okay." And then I made some random figure. 3, 8, 9, 5, 2, 5, 7, blah, 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 blah. Now square root of this. And in a fraction of a second he took out. Then again, multiplication, subtraction. 10 digits, 20 digits. Then also the matrix, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, 4 by 4, 6 by 6. So I asked him, I said, how do you do that? He said, I don't know. When you ask, immediately the figure comes in front of my eyes and I tell you. These are the Adi Daivik Shaktis. But these Adi Daivik Shaktis, so what? You have seen the life of this Shakuntala Devi, where she was staying in Bangalore. I was regularly visiting that particular building. She was outcast. Nobody wanted her even to talk to. Only money, money, money. Nothing else. Because when the Siddhis are there, Siddhis come from the Adidevik Shakti. See? Suppose somebody has all the divine powers. He can cure your health, disease, he can bless you with it. What next? We are not benefited. Adhyatmik Shastra is that when you see all these things, withdraw from this and merge in your essential nature. Otherwise, you will see where there are various kinds of chamatkars happening, somebody's diseases are cured, something. You will see crowds in millions. But see their personal life. There is no fragrance of beautiful existence. There also somebody is good, somebody is bad, and backbiting and act close and you are distant. How many years you know that Swamiji? I know him, many were not even born. And therefore I am superior and senior. Hare Ram, Ram, Ram. Then inner circle, then the second circle, the outer circle. You can't go and talk and all that. This is all Adi Dainik. Because all the divine powers are manifesting to them. And the Adhyatmik is, you are living in the Adi Bhautik world, you are able to invoke all the Adi Daivik Shaktis, but you have discarded them and you want nothing but the truth. Like the child. When the child is crying, how the mother avoids that fellow. Give him chocolate, give him some games, some toys and all that. So keep away, Papa, keep away. But some child, nothing, the moment is it, in the same manner. If worldly things attract us, it is a trick played by the Lord. Don't yield to his tricks. Then this para puja becomes effective in our life. So, niranjanasya kim dhupaihi deepairva sarvasakshanaha. So, na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. Now we come to the Adhyatmik. First is Adidevi. In that God, the sun does not illuminate. Because there are 5 sources of light. The sun, the moon, the stars, the electricity and the fire. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra, na tarakam, na ima vidyuto bhati, kutoyam agnihi. This is Adidevik. And this Adidevik principle is presented like in Kenopanishad. The story goes. It's very enchanting. As usual, the eternal fight between the Devas and Asuras is going on. So what the Devas will do? Always go and fight with the Asuras. And for that they invoke the Lord's power, Adivik. And in one of such wars, the Devas won the battle. And when they won the battle, they were celebrating. Do you know? Because of me, they were destroyed. They are the what you are done. I was there in charge. Everybody wants to take the credit. And when the Supreme Reality takes the form of Yaksha and stands fearlessly in front of these victorious gods. So they say, who is this guy? So fearlessly standing before us? Doesn't he know that we are the champions? One SMS I received. पहले गोरों को मारा, फिर कालों को मारा इन द क्रिकेट, फिर सीता के चुराने वालों को मारा, एंड अल्टीमेटली अब इंडिया को लूटने वालों को मारना है. So we have killed everybody. Now who can dare come in front of us? And yet this Yaksha is standing very comfortable, nothing distance. So they say, who is this fellow? I'll go and find out. No, I'll go. No, you don't know, I'll go. There also the superiority. Finally, the Lord Fire, Agni goes. One of the means of illuminating, Agni goes. And when Agni goes there, stand before Yaksha Bhagavan. It is something like you, like many people, they phone. And after a phone, they should tell who they are. They ask you, कौन बोल रहा है? Typical. If you are a Gujarati, हाँ बोल. So, Yaksha Bhagavan asked him, who are you? It is like going to somebody's house, knock the door, and he opens the door, tum kaun ho? It is the other way around. So Yaksha Bhagavan asked the question, who are you? So this Agni becomes very angry. Who are you? Don't you know? I am fire, alias Jataveda. See? I am Bala Sahib, Purva, Balu. So, Agnirva Jatavedaha Amasmi. Okay, then what is your power? My power, you are asking. I can burn anything in this world to ashes. Really? What do you mean by really? Okay, try to burn this blade of grass which has got a dewdrop at the tip of the grass. Please burn this. So imagine a sumo is asked to lift a papad. How insulting. So Agni tries. Nothing burns. Nothing burns. 100 degrees, 200 degrees, 1000 degrees, 10,000 degrees. But the green blade of grass and the water drop remain untouched. And then he becomes frustrated, goes back. I don't know who is this guy. Frustrated. Then the Vayu is there. He is superior. See? I will find out. Now I will go and find out. Now the Vayu goes. Same question. Who are you? What is your name? What can you do? I can lift the whole world and throw it away. Really? Try this. And he tries his best. He cannot lift that blade of grass. He also gets frustrated. Now they request their king, Indra. Sir, I think you may be successful. Indra goes there. And when Indra goes, Yaksha disappears. At least the earlier two fellows he entertained. The third one, time over. See? But Indra then maintains, he doesn't give up. And in the same place where the Yaksha was there Himam Umavati, Hemavati Umam Ajagama. the daughter of Himavan, Uma, she came and she told that the power by what you won this battle is that is the Brahman, that is the reality. So this story is Adi Daivik. It becomes easier for us to understand. Yaksha is standing, then Agni comes and I can burn, he cannot burn. You can do that. Now apply this Adi Daivik story subjectively. Surya, the sun, is the presiding deity of the eyes. So eyes cannot see him. Na tatra chakshur gacchati. So eyes are indicating all the sense organs. So to do the para puja, what will be the first thing? Drop all the 5 sense organs. Then na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam. Agni is fire. Fire is the presiding deity of the speech, indicating all the karmendriyas. So the Jnanendriyas cannot function in him, the Karmendriyas cannot function, therefore drop all your activities. So we have enfolded the sense organs. We have enfolded all the organs of action. Thereafter, Na Chandrama, the moon is the presiding deity of the mind. The mind also doesn't approach. So don't be sentimental. When I was sitting for meditation, suddenly a light came. And I was so frightened. I opened my eyes. And then I found there was a blast and a fuse. Now what should I do? But where was the fuse? Inside or outside? See? So all these are the tricks of the mind. You will get all these experiences. Bright light, the flute, mridangam, everything you will hear, no doubt about it. But these are all the tricks of the mind. Don't get carried away by that. So natra na tatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agni. So none of the faculties which are known to us are capable of knowing to that reality. And when we understand the meaning of that arati in this manner, first 12 weeks, then 5 weeks, then 3 weeks, then 1 week, then Karpura Arati, it is something like, till such time, I want to sleep, I and want is there, sleep will not begin. Ultimately, then I also must be dropped. In the same manner, the para puja is indicated by this Karpura Arati. Like in Haripat it comes. Jadiva nediva bhagavanti nahi. I know and I do not know. Both of them are redundant in the truth. See, this handkerchief on my hand is recognized as there is handkerchief. Now there is no handkerchief. So this object is recognized in 2 ways, is and is not. Do you know what is on my hand? I do not know. Now the other object, do you know? Yes, I know. So the knowledge gathered through the mind has these 2 options. Is not, no, not. But can we apply the same principle to our own being? Can we say, I am or I am not? When we cannot say, I am not, I am is also equally wrong. Can I say, I don't know myself? Therefore, to say that I don't know myself or I know myself, both are redundant. See, friends, this is the meaning of Parapuja, subjectivity. Therefore, Niranjanasya kim dhupaihi deepairva sarvasakshinaha. So the one who is illuminating eyes, the abilities of the eyes to illuminate the colors and forms, and the colors and forms. See? Yas chakshusha pashyati yenagam chakshugam shi pashyati tadeva brahmatvam viddhi nedam yadidam upasate. That which cannot be seen by the eyes, but that because of which eyes are able to see, that is the Brahman, and that Brahman thou art, and you have to only know with thee. You don't have to do anything. See, step by step. First, we get lost in the objective world. Drop it, then we get lost in our faculties. These days I can't see properly. I think cataract is coming. We get lost in the faculties. Third, we get lost in the mind. Nobody knows me. I don't know what is wrong with me. I think everything is wrong with people. I am so good. We get lost in the mind. Then we get lost in the intellect. But there is nobody more intelligent than me. These are all the catch. Get out of it. Then, Tadeva Brahmatvam Viddhi. That because of which the eyes are able to function in the respective field, but that which cannot be comprehended by the eyes, that is the Brahman, and that Brahman thou art. That Brahma Tvam eva Viddhi. That is you. So as eyes cannot see themselves, meaning eyes cannot have objectivity about the subject. Subject and object where merges, what remains is Paramatma. See, friends, these are the various techniques which are used for subjective puja, para puja. One of the puja practice technique, when you are sitting, suppose you are chanting Lord's name, very good. Now you don't get lost only in the sound. Give gap in between. And then mind is non-stop chattering. We have to transcend the mind. Even the jap must be dropped. See, friends. So you chant one Lord's name, keep the gap, and then focus attention on the gap, the silence. And once you are clear that the sound and the silence, what exactly they mean, then you will come to know sounds do not disturb you, silence does not please you. That is our essential. Then we have become adhyatmic, subjective. So, Niranjanasya kim dhupaihi deepairva sarvasakshinaha. The one who is illuminating everything. Now here is the more important point. Be very attentive. When we are told, now we will do an experiment and see what we do and what should be done. Okay, focus attention on the backdrop by your eyes and then take away that vision and come to the camera and then drop that camera and come to your own eyes. So what is our understanding? I have come to my eyes. And what are eyes? Eyes is vision. So, because the structural eyes are different, visions are different. But in fact, vision is a common phenomenon. Like light in the bulb is a common phenomenon. And if you have really reached the vision, then my vision versus your vision will disappear. Like when we are in deep sleep, my deep sleep and your deep sleep, the difference has disappeared. Because deep sleep is that sleep where differences don't exist. In the same manner, vision is that vision. It doesn't matter whether the vision is that of a good man or a bad man, it is illuminating the same thing. Like the bulb, whether there is Lord in front of the bulb or there is garbage in front of the bulb is Sarvasakshi, mere illuminator. So we give up the individuality and come to the principle which is manifesting as individuality. Technically speaking, we give up the Vyakti and come to the Abhivyakti. Eyes are Vyakti, individuality. Vision is Abhivyakti, manifestation. See, friends. Sarvasakshinaha. Otherwise, what happens, I am witnessing consciousness, people don't understand. There is nothing like I am witnessing consciousness and others are not. No, there is but one witness. There is not one witness per head. See, friends. And more than witness, I will tell you simpler technique. Try. Don't struggle for the witness. Sakshi, 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 don't struggle. Then remain indifferent. See? Like yesterday I told you, trying to forgive somebody, better is to forgive somebody. So khallas, no problem. In the same manner, instead of being the witness means what? I am the witness of this mic. If something happens to the mic, it doesn't happen to me. If something hanging in the mic, the weight is not in my neck. Why should I do that? This is being witness. So in witness, you still give importance to the objectivity. But when you remain indifferent, Yogarato va, bhogarato va, sangarato va, sangavihina, who cares? Remain indifferent. The more we start remaining indifferent in our life, we are nearest to our own being. And this is what Bhagavan Krishna says himself. Udasinam adasinam asaktam teshu karmasu. Maya dhakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam. In my presidentship, the whole world is created. But I am not influenced by them because udasinam adasinam. Neither I am a witness nor do I participate. One of the highest spiritual practices is this. Remain indifferent. As you remain indifferent to everyday stuff, in the same manner, remain indifferent to the worldly things. You have caught the technique correctly. So, Niranjanasya kim dhupaihi deepairva sarvasakshinaha nijanandaikatruptasya naivedyam kim bhavedya. Now, after that is done, then we have to give the Naivedya to the Lord. Naivedya is given so that God doesn't sleep without food. So what is the meaning of the Naivedya and what Naivedya we can give? That topic we will take it tomorrow. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnamidam